Hi, and welcome back to RECon Live. Of course, interact with the show using hashtag RECon Live. My next guest is Stephen Lebovitz, President and CEO of CBL Properties. Thanks so much for joining us, Stephen, and also now newly elected chairman of ICSC, so congratulations on that.
Thank you, Jesse. I'm happy to be here, and I appreciate that very much.
I know you actually have to go pretty quickly because you're about to moderate a panel on the Envision 2020. Tell me a little bit about Envision 2020. Why did ICSC launch this initiative, and what are you going to be talking about?
Well, Envision 2020 is an initiative that started with ICSC about 6 months ago, and we held a trustee session in January at our trustees meeting to try to really look at what are the major trends impacting our business worldwide. And from that meeting, we came up with 8 major topics that really are shaping where the industry's heading, looking out forward into 2020 and beyond. And those 8 trends are what we're going to be talking about. We have 5 distinguished professors from different colleges and universities around the country that are experts in different topics in retail real estate and real estate. So they'll be in the panel with me, just talking about what is really happening with technology, what is really happening with omni-channel and how retailers, what is the retail experience in the future, how are we changing our product to make it more attractive for millennials. So these are big topics, but they're all affecting us in specific ways, and they're going to be more impactful as we look forward.
But now this is not a static sort of typical presentation, moderated session. Right. There's going to be a lot more interaction, and there's really going to be a lot of long-term ranging after effects coming from this, right?
Correct. This is a town hall meeting, so it's designed to be very interactive with Q&A and participation from everyone in the audience. And then we'll take that. There's actually been an initiative with Envision 2020 to go around the globe at the different RECon events in Europe and Latin America and Asia to get input from members there, to get their reaction, and then we'll take what comes out of this meeting today and continue to go out to the members and refine and develop so that we have something that is useful to our members, and it won't stop. It's not static, as we know, everything keeps changing. So we'll continue to revisit and see how can this really help our members.
So this was started by the trustees, but really what we want is input, buy-in from the membership as a whole.
Absolutely.
Okay,
absolutely.
Fantastic. Well, you're very interested in technology, and I know you're working on that quite a bit at CBL, and that's going to be one of the topics, but why don't you tell me a little bit about what you're seeing and the impacts of technology on retail real estate?
Well, technology is such a broad topic, but it's impacting our industry in so many ways, and really over the past 10 years with the emergence of e-commerce, retailers have tried to figure out the best way to compete and evolve their business. And now what's happened is retailers have embraced omni-channel, and shopping center owners are working with retailers to help them to improve the shopping experience. And it's a different dynamic, but technology allows us to do things today in terms of working with retailers, communicating with customers that we never even thought were possible a few years ago. And talk about something that's evolving. It's every day there's a new announcement and a new initiative. So keeping on track, keeping on top of it is a hard thing to do. And I think ICSC can really help out because ICSC has a global perspective, and frankly, some of the most innovative ideas are not coming from the US, they're coming from Europe and other countries and parts of the world. So having that global perspective is really helpful, and then bringing it to our members who don't have the resources, don't have the capabilities to on their own do the research and do the development, but to help them understand best practices and where this is all heading without investing a lot of money in something that might not be a core strength for them.
Yeah, that's really interesting because obviously technology, when it first comes out, is very expensive, but then there's sort of that period where it becomes less expensive and more people can kind of interact with it. So that's pretty important. What do you see right now that the most successful owners and developers, or retailers for that matter, within your portfolio, your clients, your tenants, what they're seeing, what are they doing right now, and what's setting them apart?
I'd say 2 things. The retailers that are most experienced are connecting with their customers so that the customer feels like they're getting a value. And it might not be just the lowest price, but there's some kind of value proposition that those retailers are creating with the customers, and that connection is driving the traffic both to the stores and to the websites, and converting that value proposition to a sale. And so I think creating that people feel like they're getting something that they can't get somewhere else is really what's driving the success with retailers. The other thing is the experience part of it. And people want to do something that they feel like is unique. And it's a challenge from a retailer's point of view to continue to reinvent that experience, but focusing on how do we create that unique experience and translate that again into a value proposition is really the combination that seems to be the formula for success today.
So sort of big picture, a lot of people have been up here in this seat and said, we're in a position of strength right now. And yeah, 2014 was one of the best years that we've had since recession by most of the operating metrics. And they're bullish on the outlook over the next several years. What's your take in terms of where the industry is going? What's your outlook for the next 5 years or so?
I think we're in a very stable position from the industry's point of view. We've gotten through the worst of the financial crisis. Most of the retailers have strong balance sheets and financial resources. Most of the landlords have done financings over the past few years that give them a longer term time frame that they can look at the business. So I think we're in a good place from the business's point of view, and I think that'll continue going forward. There's going to be a lot of innovation. There's going to be a lot of change. There's continued to be competition. We have, there are companies out there that are always looking to compete and figure out what's the next best thing. So, we can never let our guard down. We have to always be running a little bit scared and trying to figure out how can we stay ahead of that competitive threat.
But ultimately, that's a good thing, right? It keeps
Absolutely,
you sharp.
It keeps us sharp, and it makes us better.
Yeah.
It truly makes us better.
So before I let you go, I know you got to run, but I want to find out what, as newly elected chairman, what do you think is most top of mind for members? What have you been hearing from members as the incoming chairman, and what are you going to sort of be looking at over the next year with your new role with ICSC?
Well, I think members are, ICSC's greatest strength is the engagement of its members, and that we have this incredible volunteer network, that we have this high level of participation. So I want to do everything I can to encourage that in our membership and to grow that. And ICSC does so many things well, but first and foremost, it's connecting our members. And I just want to continue to advance that with great programs like we have here today, and throughout the year in different locations. And also to provide services to our members that ICSC can provide, again, because of its global perspective, because of its scale, that on their own, our members can't necessarily do. So that whole service mentality is something that I think ICSC has and can continue to excel at. So.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Look forward to working with you over the next year. It's going to be a lot of fun.
We're going to have a great time.
Stephen Lebovitz, President, CEO of CBL. Thanks so much for joining us, and make sure you go watch Stephen's panel at 9:30 if you are here at RECon.
I got to run.
Go see his panel on Envision 2020. It's going to be great, and we'll be back at 10:15 with more RECon Live.
Thank you.